Hello, good evening. Happy almost New Year's. TKL Scouting Games are here. We're on Amaterasu's presence. I'm Malum. I've got Musi with me. Tess is pushing the ones and twos. And Musi, we get to see our friend Mort, who's usually casting much better than myself, in the mid lane, which may be one thing we'd be even on.
Say it's not what we're used to seeing per se, but we
Or what
know
we want to
Mort.
see.
Yeah, usually want to see that guy slapped in that support role. I'm not gonna lie, keep it real. I love it here. Shout out Mort, but in the mid role, I still think he has a lot of potential. He's got some picks he can play. You could play Kepri mid. That could maybe you could
Yeah,
play. I can't guarantee a
that
victory.
aspect, right?
Yeah, it's there. Soon.
The first ban Medusa, I gotta say already, it upsets me. I haven't cast any Smite 2 since the LAN, and we didn't get to see Medusa there. So I was kind of hoping to see Medusa. I know she's very popular in a multitude of roles right now, which I guess is why she'd be a first target ban, but she's gone and she'll be matched with the Sobek. That leaves us open for first pick, and with it locked in, and what's the feels?
Loki is still one of the best junglers in the game consistently. The ability to just throw out damage and easy confirmable damage. Yeah, it's kind of like I'm going to play Loki. I'm going to do well. But if there's a god that where you can kind of show off what you're capable of, Loki's a good god to do it.
Yeah,
You can play high tier gods and
and
farm.
it's with an NMR as well, who played Loki jungle and was one of the top jungles in Founder series on Loki, let alone some scouting games. So that's kind of a scary combination too.
Say, what is there? What is there to scout? We've already seen this episode, NMR. Like, show us some other spiciness. But it means that if you don't show up with this Loki, it's going to be a little sus, little moment where you're like, oh, I don't know about this guy. And that's what we're trying to do in these games now. This is all about showing up, showing what you
Yep.
got, showing what you can play. Chalk and Hikati, that's a lot of AoE, a lot of CC, a lot of play potential. So that's what I like seeing picked up here.
Chalk, Akate, and Anubis all go in, and it looks like Mort swapped to support. So we
Oh,
don't get to see a triple double today in the mid lane for Mort. I mean, maybe we do, which would be extra impressive in the support role, but it's always possible. For sure. Yamoja Cupid. That gets me as excited as it gets me. I feel like I'm just teleported a couple of weeks ago and seeing similar compositions. I guess the biggest question so far would be kind of looking at the Anubis. I know Cupid's proved to be better than people thought, but does Anubis stick out as weird going second pick?
so I don't hate it in that second slot, especially because there's a lot of versatility. You could see that Anubis in the solo lane if you really want to try to make a carry, like from solo potential there. But Anubis is good into Hakati specifically because
Right.
if Hakati ults you, you just ult in response. So it's a classic second pick into that Hakati.
Hmm. Looking across now, the Herc and the Kepri. Kepri, I feel like, has kind of been one of the more hated characters of the more recent updates. Like, hated's a strong word, but I feel like it
A
is
little
accurate.
harsh.
We haven't seen him a lot in high competitive play. Why do you think that is? Does it apply to this team comp, or does it maybe help him?
So Kepri has been really powerful in terms of like backline support, but because recent games have been so focused on that kind of frontline aggression and just trying to make plays with like the Sobek blocks and getting in there with your Fenrirs and Dinas and stuff like that, Kepri hasn't had a real time, like any chance to shine. But
Mm,
for these TKL scouting games, I think Kepri has a lot of potential. I especially like it with Cupid because you have somebody back there with your Cupid, with your Hecate, characters that are going to need a little bit of peel so that you can just keep them alive for a bit, especially into gods like Hercules and Cernunos. They have so much kill potential. The lockdown there, being able to Kepri ult somebody and be like, "You are okay, my son. I have protected you. You are
I will
safe."
keep you safe.
There's a lot, yeah, there's a lot to love.
And with the way the Sasano is going to want to play as well around the chalk, it's exactly what you're talking about, where you'll have that everybody else can do the frontline thing, I can do the backline thing. Mort as well, not having as many opportunities to show off gameplay so far in these scouting matches. Kepri is a great character to show off a little bit. If you can make your revivals really perfectly timed, if you can get some strong positioning, keep the Cupid alive throughout the game, Mort could leave a shining star. But how do the comps match up kind of tit for tat?
So if I'll start with Chaos side here. Chalk, Hecate, and Susano, as well as Cupid, have massive fight sculpting ultimates with lots of CC. Cupid ult especially has like just an area denial zone, and Chalk and Hecate play well into that. But Loki, Anubis, and Cernunnos have the ability to just look at somebody and say you're dead. So having the Kepri there is going to be necessary in order to keep your carries safe. Abduct will be an important tool to watch here.
Well, you said they can make them dead. Let's see who's the first to die in game as game is ready for game number 1 here in the TKL Scouting Games. Order and Chaos are the 2 teams. Exciting team names, Musi. I kind of want to make them fun. I'm guessing D'Lo did his whole like honey cake fruit thing, right?
Yeah,
He was like, "Oh, let's name one zebra cakes. I've never done that before."
I want to go honey bears. Like,
Yeah.
let's see. Well, we can come up with something like right now.
Okay.
You do order and I'll do chaos, and like we'll 3, 2, 1 throw it out together.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
All right. Let me know when you got one.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The
Bank
Moggies.
robbers. Oh, wait. I like
what's
it.
yours?
I said bank robbers.
Bank robbers. Oh, mine are the
Cash money
Moggies. I
Mortys.
couldn't stop looking at Mogwarts.
All right, hold on. I'm changing mine. We got the Moggies versus the Sigma.
the what?
The Sigmas. The Sigmas and the Moggies. Run it down, Tess. Run it up there. Here we go.
Oh, the Sigmas. That's good. That's real good. I like that.
It's a
The
professional.
Moggies on the order side, the Sigmas on the chaos side. What more could you want? Anyway, the players in the game. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about duo. More go. I'll never let you forget it. The bubble.
Oh
Damn
my
it.
God. He dodged it. That's crazy. Kepri's so big and fat, you can almost guarantee he was gonna eat that. But talk about somebody who could read between and weave between the lines. Good Lord.
And you know he's sweating extra because he knows that you and I are on this game, and we never would have forgotten that. That if he had been first blood, and if he still is now that he didn't die, it's going on the soundboard. Like he'll never escape it.
Cash money Morty, first blood. The potential's still there. No one's dead yet, and I would imagine that Loki is going to be one of the gods to make that first blood happen. I always keep my eyes on the junglers in these Smite 2 games. Especially with characters as explosive as Loki and Susano in this mid lane. It's getting kind of heated and cooked up. Kuzco taking a bit of damage because, like I said, Loki, a lot of damage there. Easy to apply. So he can make it happen fairly quickly. And once level 5 hits, it gets all kinds of nasty.
Level 5 will be the key. A difference in starter items for the ADCs as well. And what's interesting to me is usually when we see Warriors Act starter ADC, I feel like Cern is the character to do that. But Cupid's rocking it while Cern's got the Death's Toll. Mockwarts will get poked, but we'll be okay. Soul Laner thinks. Matter of fact, the decent pull doesn't go for the stun, though.
And with that Warriors X on the Cupid, this is the Cyclone Spin build that people have been building on every single character to try to get
Moggy.
results.
You better get out of there, buddy.
And say, Susano looking for results too. Solo lane.
Dashed in, dead, first blood, bang. Move on, go on, continue.
Anyway, so the Sunbeam bow build that everybody hates, right? So... It's you start with your Sunbeam bow, you got your Warriors Axe for a little bit of sustain there. You're also a Cupid, so with those hearts, it actually offers them quite a bit. And you're gonna need that because this Loki's poking around in that dual lane.
Will indeed the pluck underneath the tower. The bead's a bit late. Now Moore takes damage. Gone to Davey after the Loki followed through. Now Davey followed by the Susano. Can you get that kill right on back? Maybe not with the stun. Davey to the grass. Enamar not full committing. Susano walks back. Now Enamar goes forward. Gets the damage on. Can they find the kill? Now Chalk's here too. It's a hell of a party in the duo lane. Enamar will walk away with 1, maybe 2. Barely. Marshmallow gets away. That got chaotic quick.
Say, I don't know who invited Chalk to this party. It's called the dual lane, not that
Great
everyone
rotation,
lane.
though.
Say, presence of mind, especially after, being able to pick up that kill in solo lane, immediately translating to something in that dual lane. It's kind of crazy. Also, shoutouts to Calvish keeping the Susano off of, who's Davey there. Susano able to track after Cernunnos through the dash. A little bit of action happening in that back jungle, though.
And a little bit of action leads to a lot of death. Duo followed up. A good pull from Mort will keep his ADC safe, but for how long? As Loki... Oh my god! Marshmallow said he loved your work in the Founder Series. Now check me out in black and white.
That's crazy.
Got him! Oh no! The double embarrassment, him with a double whammy.
That's crazy. Well, I was gonna mention, I was like, well, Warriors Axe gives you a little bit of sustain, a little bit of
back off.
Yeah, that wasn't quite there, but it's crazy what you can do with a god like Cupid, but NMR, this Loki pick, already showing up. Anubis too. Froggen Power's got 2 kills. That's a good, strong start. But because he's had all these rotations,
Good
Kati,
resets too, but the gate's gonna make it tough. And we'll keep NMR away, but hey, Perks here. Bonk, bonk.
bonk?
Where's the dead?
No
The
way.
dead's supposed to go there. NMR gets the ult off, gets knocked up right away, and will be able to get away from the Asano. Matter of fact, Dave Chappelle comedy, is it still up? Is he get
Netflix?
away? Guys?
Good throw.
No
Bueller?
cooldowns. Wow, nobody had anything? The Anubis didn't have anything? All right, well, Susano's away. And the same thing can be said for Wabi Sabi. So the comedy stylings of Dave Chappelle continue, and the laser is down at Anubis.
Say, good lord. These scouting games are always so fun to watch because everybody will scrap for nothing.
yeah,
It doesn't
it's been a
matter what's
while.
happening. Fields of love here.
Double ults, responded with a wild hunt. A lot of damage on a Davies head. Mort, I think he plucked in, so he's probably dead here, but Davy dashes forward, gets the reset on his autos, and Calvish gets selfish and takes one for themselves. 7-2 now, favoring the Moggies. I almost said Muggies and remembered his name.
Say, the Moggies are mugging
The Mugsters.
the Sigmas. Cash money, Morty. No more funds left in the bank here. This Kepri pick, I like seeing it, but it's really susceptible to over-aggression. You have to make sure that you play to your strengths. And
Yeah.
Kepri's biggest strength is going to be that defense, the ability to pull people off. Starting a fight with an abduct is not something you want to go for unless you can immediately confirm the kill, which is not something you can do right now until Cupid hits some important power spikes. Until Sunbeam Bow and Rocky's Harp are online, you can't get a lot of kill potential without it. Loki also finding a punch.
Got the reset. Will the tick be enough onto Cusco? Not quite. You know, credit as well. Cusco did play some Founder Series as well, a name I remember seeing through there. Now, we're coming up in 6.5 minutes or so, and we talked a lot about Duo. Understandably so. Earlier on, you talked a lot about the Loki and the matterings there. Forgotten Power gets focused, but okay. Matter of fact, Forgotten Power almost just 1v2'd in the mid lane on Dave Chappelle and Cusco, watching health bars and dudes chasing them out. Is laser up? No, not quite. Wrap? Oh, almost got the pool to hit as well. My question is Gold Fury is pulled and should be secured by the Boggies. With the Gold Fury in pocket now as well, if you are the side of, what did you name them? The Sigmas?
The
If you're the
Sigmas.
side of the Sigmas, when do
Playing
you
like
just send
betas.
Kepri away from Duo? Do you maybe call it early? Because Cupid needs some farm.
Cupid definitely needs some farm, and it's the thing is that he needs that Kepri there too for as long as Umoja is going to be there to back up the CERN, who could just pour on this damage, stun, and more the revive.
Now Cupid's here. Blink. Deals the love as well. We'll find them both. Cupid can get some good damage across. The stun on. Needs one more auto. Gets it. Can turn. Calvish might go down. Cupid wants it, but Sasano's here. But who's going to get it? Neither one. Marshmallow started the rebuke. Calvish is different and Riptide's away while giggling, I'm sure.
I think that Marshmallow forgot that Umoja's River's Rebuke can kill you because there was ample opportunity to leave that ultimate with time to spare.
man.
Unfortunate. But at least, you know, Cupid was able to get a return kill, some revenge for their support. It's going to put him back in the game. Shock. A lot of movement here. And the ult.
And you know what sucks too is going back to that Cupid as the ult doesn't really set up too much onto the Chalk. That was a good play from Marshmallow. That was a good attempt, and it did get a couple of picks in pocket that were needed, but just not enough. Davey, speeds, okay. We're dropping everything, but Davey already got the dash, the stun, the knock up, the pull back. Davey will go down to Chappelle, and Calvish will just watch this time. No miracle plays to be had.
Say, not a whole lot that he could do there. Anubis putting down the health on Hagati, though. Cusco goes down. NMR gonna pick up that kill like it was nothing. Naga, more than likely, something to pick up here. And that's a good response from the Moggers. I don't remember their name. I gotta write this down. Like, a good response from the Moggers to at least put pressure where they can. Because if your duo's getting picked off, might as well pick off this Hakate. They don't have a lot of movement. They can't deal with the fact that a Loki's going to go on them. Loki's going to look for even more. Poor Mort getting pushed out. But if Loki pushes out that Capri, it's going to leave your Cupid wide open for death and destruction here.
Exactly. That's what you can't do. You need to keep it alive. We talked about that before. The dash is off. Fields of Love does make NMR back away, but Calvish goes forward. NMR blinks back in, gets the distance, gets the damage, and Calvish will take the kill. Marshmallow goes down, and Anubis ready to stand. Might be able to 1v2 again. And one thing that could not be 1v2 was Mogwarts on the gank and solo. They'll go down.
And I think some of that has to do with the fact that I don't think Hercules is very strong right now. I know, hot take, fire take coming from Music Clan. I don't like the
Crazy take, yeah.
So Anubis gets plucked here at an easy blink.
Is he dead, though? Got to commit forward. The laser's up. The tracking, is it good? A big-time revive from the Khepri. Keeps the Sasano safe, and Anubis goes down.
That's what you want to see from Cash Money Morty on this Khepri, because that's what you got to do with your Khepri pick. Hakatia, beautiful. Get him out of there.
It was beautiful. Got him away from the double stun, but NMR still finds the autos, and Koo's code will go down. And Mort can't save him twice, as much as you might try. It's a tough break for Mort, and that makes it 12-6. Definitely a scouting game with a score like that. The Magi's up pretty strong in gold over the Sigmas, though.
And some players that I'm already looking at on the topic of scouting games, like who are we watching right now? Who's making a lot of these big plays? Obviously, NMR on this Loki has been making some very impactful rotations. We're seeing the same type of gameplay we saw from him from the Founder series. We know that's a prevalent player. We know, yeah, obviously, NMR. It's going to do really well. I do want to say that Wabi Sabi, in the face of adversity, has been doing a great job maintaining pressure in the solo lane. They've had a little bit of help from Dave Chappelle to make it happen, but Wabi Sabi and Dave Chappelle are kind of the people that I'm staring at on the Sigmas. It's a fun name to say. Like, wow, is that really him?
And Dave Chappelle are who I'm staring at on the Sigmas.
Yeah. Legacy. It's going to be remembered in Smite 2 forever. Gold Fury started being looked at by Moggies here.
Yeah, bigger things on the map for sure. But this Gold Fury, much like the first one that was taken however long ago it was now, it feels like a distant memory, is for free. NMR in trouble, pulled away, but who's really in trouble might just be the Sigmas. The ult from NMR will not be able to find the kill. Mort's ult works out, and Chappelle walks away with a kill.
Still definitely a trade that's going to go in favor of the Moggies as Hakate gets ulted by Davey. Not going to be able to find too much off of that, though. Chappelle's coming up behind them. Some playmaking in the books here. He's going to leave the bush.
Once the Anubis gets the start, but gets wrapped out and slowed down, still goes for the chase. It's ambitious. As that gate hits, it's different, but the Talisman will keep the Anubis safe. And the Moggies seem to be in treacherous waters. Now in goes Chappelle. The damage is on, but it turns around. Big time at that is shut down into Davy's pocket. And the Sigmas pay for overstepping.
Mort, it's time to pick up that World Stone because your teammates keep dying, right? Like, we need that ultimate all the time.
Mort has cleaned it up, though, from the beginning.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a little bit of a rough start at the beginning, but they were able to make some very impressive revives, utilizing that all very well. It shows that this player has a lot of presence of mind of when to use what tools and like how to get the most success from it. So definitely a player to keep watching as these games continue. Hakati blown up. There he goes.
Yeah, there was a Hakate there, but a big-time solo for Marshmallow. And if you saw how that laning phase went, for Marshmallow to not only get farm in the previous fight when we saw that Cern in mid, but for when Davey shows up, Marshmallow to go and get that solo kill. That's really massive for the Cupid. Unfortunately now, getting ganked by the Loki. I don't think you can get away from this gank in the duo. If you're Marshmallow, you can probably just stand and throw some autos. That's all Marshmallow will do. So tough to get ganked, but you do get the solo kill. And I mean, if there's one thing you want from ADC, Muzi, it's somebody who knows how to farm.
It's the most important part of playing the role, and while it seems a little silly to say because you're like, well, yeah, duh, obviously farming's important, you need that Cupid online as soon as possible. Wabi Sabi says goodbye to all of you. It's a solo lane. No, yeah, he's like, blink and you'll miss it. He's gone. But you want Cupid ahead, especially with that Broggies, the Sunbeam. They're going to get that Shin-sized Executioner. Those are tools that you need. You can't buy that without gold. You can try to ask politely for items, but it hasn't worked for me, so I don't think it's going to work for him yet. This slapfest going on. I love Warriors. They're not Warriors anymore, but I love Warriors.
Yeah, I don't think there's
really
I don't think there's any hacks you can turn on for that either.
No, yeah. They say Iris just doesn't let you do it. Oh, blink wrap.
Spit, damage, and a Khepri ult. The minions tower? Somebody, it's a tower. And Mort's trying to run the Hecate away, and it'll work out. A great ultimate from the Morden man. A good play from Forgotten Power, but the answer even better.
I like to imagine Mort's the type of player whenever they're playing Neath to be like, Predator Missile inbound. Uh-oh, Forgotten Power picks up Koo's code.
Yeah, the Predator Missile hit.
Shock in the sky, ult for ult.
The laser tracking needs more, though. A nice pullback to stop the laser. The damage is so on, but we're going to trade it back. Who's going to be the one to die here? It's Forgotten Power for now, but NMR wants to add some bodies to that pile. Takes on the whole world, it seems, but can only bring down one more before the answer is there.
Mort's happy to die for that, honestly. They want to kill that Loki, want to keep him down for as long as possible. Hogwarts, you're a little late to the party here, man. Oh, missed the invite, missed the phone call. The Uber was late, doesn't have a car.
It'd be
Tragic.
like that.
It'd be like that sometimes. But talk about the aggression from Moggies. It seems like these players are always looking for more. They're always trying to get that extra step, a blink wrap on a Hecate. Let's go try to dive into their jungle after the fact to see what else we can get. I'm wondering when that's going to bite them in a big way, because Sigmas are already making small comebacks to these over aggressive steps that Moggies are making. Look at Davey, went all the way for that tier 2 tower, it's gonna get run off by Dave Chappelle. So it's only a matter of time before Dave Chappelle catches you. That's a sentence.
Oh my god. Oh man.
I'm like an artist. What can I say?
Oh no. That's not even what he got canceled for.
Yeah, it was something else.
Yeah. That's crazy work.
But when does this
Go on.
overzealous? Yeah, when does this overzealousness, the aggression, become too much?
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's in the rear view.
He's power walking at you. And NMR looking to see to punish Wasabi Sabi, but that's a shock. He's probably fine, just gonna get away. Uh-oh.
There's the ult back. A nice stun, too, to help get away. And he breaks ankles with an axe, but needs more. Boulder knocks up, still not dead. Laser, that's enough. My god.
What a cool character.
Yeah, great addition for sure. Marshmallow to pick up. Davey. Oh no, brings Marshmallow with him. That's a tough death. And the Sigmas, though, taking advantage. They know nobody's on the left-hand side. They'll grab what could be their first Gold Fury of the game. Moggies will have a tough time to get there in time. Down to half, so it's going to be close. You've got Forgotten Power around the side. The Gold Fury not dead and not free. In they go. Who's going to grab the Gold Fury? It goes the way of the Moggies. NMR with the steal. Who's up next in the chopping block? It's the all support. It's always the supports. And the Sigmas lose out on not just gold, but some members too. Can they get away? The stun catches, the damage on. Maybe not, but a pullback in NMR. Chappelle wants to fight. Will not have it.
Unfortunate. You know, Sigma's losing Rough Marshmallow in that previous engagement. If that Cupid was alive, that Gold Fury would be dead. That was the difference between confirming that objective and not having it. Anubis ult is back, and guess who's dead? It's going to be Koo's code.
So on at this game with those ultimates so far has been Forgotten Power, and it's made a big difference for the Moggies. And you can see it in the player damage charts at the very top, ahead of the Loki, which is always impressive as well, especially when it's piloted by NMR. But, you know, kind of on topic of that, while we've got a momentary lapse in action, Dave Chappelle has been keeping up with NMR at a pretty decent pace, considering the experience of NMR.
And, you know, that has a lot to do with how fast they are. No matter how fast you are, David Chappelle is coming for you. But Susanoo has been really integral in the comeback moments for Sigmas. They've been making some rotations to that solo lane and some very important rotations to duo, keeping Cupid ahead of the game, enabling some of those solo kills. So even though NMR is just kind of running it right now, Dave Chappelle, I think, is a player to look at as someone who can play from behind, play from the disadvantaged state of, this guy is kind of rocking me. I gotta see what else I can find. Pyromancer is gonna be picked up by Moggies, though.
It is NMR with credit for the secure in the fight. There's an interest as well. The board to lead the way, but is there an opening? Some damage from the laser. All the damage from the laser. Koo's code is no more. Forgotten Power continues to be on it. I mean, at some point, we got to check him for aimbot.
Yeah, right. And Mort had ult there, too. You could see the way he was kind of standing around. He was definitely expecting that to go off. That's a classic Mort stares right into the camera like The Office, like, what just happened to me, man? My mid laner should be alive. As Moggy's running it down mid, that tower does not have the health, and neither does Mort. Here comes Shackle.
Into the back line, but the options are simply not there. And Amar, okay, was the furthest ahead. The company will regroup. Marshmallow still getting that solo farm, getting that push out in duo. Now at a tier 2 tower, and thanks to Sunbeam Bow, that'll be free. So a lot of gold in pocket and some much needed pressure. It also forces the back out from Herc.
And he was ready to walk out base right away. Mogwarts, I just understood why you called them Moggies. I hate, but it's been 20 minutes.
Wow, you didn't know where I got that? You just thought I was guessing?
No, I just thought you were a based Sigma who mogs on other people. It turns out you're just a beta who steals mogging from the masses. But
that's insane. All right, go on.
My fault, gang. But
yeah, maybe it's mine.
The important part is that if Cupid is able to get these split pushes, Sigmas can hold the line here. They just got to make sure they don't get too crazy. Calvish, what a mobile character. Cersei's Hexstone means that Yamoja is just able to mume right on out. You can expect Moggies to want to find a fight here. In dashes Davey.
Davey might just be dead. But yeah, he is. I thought maybe the review could help out, but he's certainly gone. But Chappelle did take some damage, gets wrapped up. Is that ult on time for Mort? Yes, it is, but Marshmallow goes down. Kuzco too. Mort only had one ult, gang, and they all go down. A triple kill for NMR, and chasing down the Quadra while the rest of the Moggies handle the homie in the back. Damage on to Chappelle. Needs the invis. Oh, he won't get it. Take it away. No Quadra for NMR. Forgotten Power gets it. The Moggies, they claim the ultimate prize. 4 dead. That Chalk's never gonna die. I wouldn't even bother. Just get the fire.
Yeah, and fire is gonna be the obvious pickup here, but NMR is looking to pad his stats. Maybe try to hit that guy. The Anubis has top damage. Don't you want top damage, NMR? You gotta show up. It's scouting games. How else are people gonna know how good you are if you don't try to solo a tank while there are things to do on the map? That's the sign of good gameplay. We are all right. Okay.
I mean, now he's dead, but like, this is a serious problem. I mean, jokes aside, Musi, you have this insane lead. Yes, 21.5 minutes. You're up 12K. It's all great. 28 to 13, sure. But now you're doing fire, and there is still potential here if that Cupid notices and decides to make his way over. But hey, I guess the Sigmas will not be able to contest, so the Moggies won't pay. Egg on my face. Marshmallow in trouble, gets the heart bomb on, but you're gonna need more than a heart bomb with the Anubis doing that much damage. Unstoppable now. 10 total kills for Forgotten Power.
Say, the thing to keep in mind is when you are this far ahead is how quickly these things can fall apart on you when you're not paying attention. Much like Kuzco here, Loki's invisible, Hakate for ult, NMR gets another kill. Anyways, moving on. So, NMR's 11-3, whatever. But the thing to remember is that all of this can be taken away from you in a moment if you're not careful. Because it's all well and good to have a lead, but the bigger you are, the harder you fall. Those gold bounties are going to be climbing up here. So all Sigmas need is one solid fight in their favor, a couple of picks, and that puts them back in the game in a big way. They still have all their Phoenixes. They have a tier 2 tower. Moggies, even with your Ancient Gold Fury that you're picking up there, you got a lot of work to do.
Chappelle caught. NMR damage on. The blink to get away. So I'll cost the blink. As you mentioned, the Ancient Fury taken. It's on the 2 Phoenixes left in middle. Right side, it's only on a tier 2. But I don't think the Moggies care very much. They can just kind of kill anybody and anything at this point in the game. 23 minutes in. And yeah, that Phoenix, I don't know how much longer it's going to stand strong, Musi.
Yeah, let's say getting its wings clipped as we speak. So is Chappelle. Little baby goes down. Davey finds a kill. That's jail time.
Yeah, the only person who should have who in front of their name is Chappelle after he got sat down like that by Davey. And the Moggies take out 2. It's time to march on to the Titan in the throne room. Damage from the Anubis onto the Chalk, who recently seemed tanky. That feels like it's way in the past. The Moggies just realized the tier 2 is up, so they can't get that Phoenix. So they said, all right, we'll just kill him in the throne room then. Pull back onto Mort. Trying to get away. The laser finds a home, but Calvish steals the kill. Talisman safe from the portal, and the Titan still being tickled as the main damage has been on to members of the Sigmas. The Moggies get one there, a blink forward, one last chance to defy the odds onto the Moggies? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Wabi Sabi will die in the fountain, and the Titan will finally die. The Moggies will take the game.
It's not like, I mean, the Sigmas did a pretty good job. I do want to highlight Dave Chappelle, especially the only player with a positive slash line on the Sigmas. So you gotta, game respects game. That jungler was out there jungling. Not a jungler.
Yeah, he was
I'm
bungling.
doing my best. He was a bungling and a bumping,
A
but
bungling
unfortunately,
jungler.
for, for Forgotten Power, big mid experience gap. I think Forgotten Power definitely felt like
Yeah, I think
they
it's a
knew what
fair
was
way of putting
happening at
it.
all times. Yeah, I don't want to say it, but I think maybe a little bit of a shuffling around the roles, around the teams to really show off who's strong where. And Wabi Sabi, also for the Sigmas, I think did pretty well. When you're facing down people like NMR, Forgotten Power, who's Davy, these people are just ahead, Calvish, you're able to keep down Mogwarts, the cheerleader, the team face, in the face of adversity. You just don't have to, as long as you don't die, you're chilling.
I'm kind of with you. It does feel like some shuffling of the teams. That's one of the key aspects of any scouting game, scouting grounds, prospect games, whatever you call them, whichever league it is at any given time. The key is always those rosters, and it can get a little bit on the messy side. So this game, while it did feel a little bit one-sided, you mentioned it. There were a few moments of good, and there were a lot of good kind of micro encounters. I feel like that the Sigmas found themselves in that chaos team that really did look pretty okay. And there was even some good. We saw Marshmallow as well, a very early on, strong 1v2, get some good aggression in as well. Mort had some good revives when the moments required it. And as you've already talked about, Wabi Sabi and Dave Chappelle kind of went nuts at certain points of that game.
Absolutely. And then we can't just give all the glaze to the people on Team Sigma. Gotta shout out the Moggies, Calvish, Davy, Forgotten Power, NMR, even Mogwarts to an extent. Just showing some good, clean smite play.
Yeah.
Davy, they can hit autos. That's all you need from your Cernanos when they build the proc build. And NMR, we know for a fact that they're very familiar with the game. They know when to rotate and where. And Calvish did a great job with those Rivers Rebukes, cutting off choke points, locking people into situations where they want to be, but also being able to peel for their team more than a couple times. Calvish was able to help a teammate from death because they just got walled off completely. Even Calvish themselves, which ended up killing Rough Marshmallow in the process. So the treat gets all that much sweeter when that happens.
It is kind of insane how many little things built up, and it feels like some of the messiness didn't play well for the Sigmas either. It kind of felt like the Moggies were down to be messy because they knew how to wrangle themselves back on track a little bit easier, a little bit cleaner than what the Sigmas were able to do. I'm still keeping up with the team names.
Mm-hmm. You and
Eh,
me both.
yeah, they're banger names. I think it just ultimately came down to you get overwhelmed a little bit too, especially in these scouting games. It's not the team you're going to be with forever. It's not rosters you're always used to. It's not people you've heard in comms before. You usually you have to find out who's going to be that IGL in the moment. Just not easy stuff.
So I would say the big takeaway from this is just who did you play well with? You pick like
Yeah.
one person on your team. And you were like, you know what, Dave Chappelle, not that bad. Well, I like Dave Chappelle.
The
7.
player.
Yeah, Dav Chappelle 7. I like Dav Chappelle
Yeah,
7.
there you go. I
Clip
like
that
Dav
part,
Chappelle.
not the first part.
Yeah,
Thank you.
clip that part.
Love it
Uh,
here. But like
I'm gonna
that's
break down the fourth wall, Musy. I forget.
yeah,
Are we good? I don't have to wait for break. I've been sitting here waiting for Tess to tell me to go to break, but we don't have to do that. I
yeah,
don't think. I think we can just go. So you
yeah.
guys
I think
grab a
we're just
water.
chilling.
We'll be back. We're gonna go to break.
Yeah.
We'll meet here soon.
All right. Bye, guys. So you catch that Netflix special or?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome on back. More TKL Scouting Games. We got the same people, rosters mixed up a little bit to get things differentiated. It's still Malum, it's still Musi, it's still Tess pushing the buttons. And Musi, the roster change-ups that I see, I like already. We'll still call them Moggies and Sigma. Moggies will stay order side because Mogwarts, not
Classic.
Mogging. Yeah.
Hmm.
NMR, Kuzco, and Mordenman and Davey will round up that roster. While the other side, you've got Wabi Sabi with Azulisk, Forgotten Power, Calvish, and Marsh. I think Azul would be Dave Chappelle then. And I gotta say, I feel like these are good roster changes. I think it'll be a good mix up.
I do, yeah, I would agree with you here because the last game we saw was felt pretty one sided, especially because specifically NMR, Forgotten Power, and Calvish, Davey, those players were popping off so hard. You definitely want to split that up to see not only like how well can they do with other players, but how do these players fare against each other. If
Mhm.
these are the players that we're staring at, let's really figure out what the pecking order is. I like the Loki respect ban from the Sigmas here. Take that away from NMR because clearly 11-3 on Loki last game. You can't let him run that again.
Definitely not. So back first man and Loki, as you mentioned, are gone. What are you looking at? A Pele. Oh, that's exciting.
Not
I haven't gotten to see that at all. But where do we go from the Pele?
I have to wonder because Pele, in my mind, isn't necessarily somebody we look for as a first pick, but it is already showing me what the Moggies want to go for here, and that's going to be a dive comp. So I want to see people who can go ahead and dive with their Pele. I would expect something like Cernanos. They have the dash ability there. You have the man. There's not a whole lot of dive here in Smite 2, is there? Oh no, we got Bacchus in there
Yeah, I
too.
was
Like
just thinking
people
the
who can
same
jump
thing
in,
as you were
like
saying it.
Bacchus, Athena. Like I'm like, yeah. Why don't we get something like an Agni? Oh, he's not
Yeah.
here yet. Hold on, we gotta take it a couple steps back. But because that Loki's banned, it does mean we get to open up the Medusa Yamoja combo dual lane locked and set here for the Sigmas,
I get to see
and that's
Medusa
kind of
and
crazy.
Pele too. That's exciting for me.
This is a big day for Malum right now.
It
This is
is a big
big
day
things
for
coming.
me. Big things. See, you get me.
I get
I'm
it. I
glad
know.
you get me.
I play ball. I know what's going on here.
Yeah, you know ball. Baron as well. That's a character though that we've seen some fall off on since the mountain of nerfs seemingly patch after patch.
Yeah, dead god. Unfortunate. Well, you know what? They do now have Moggies has a lot of sustain with that Baron and Shock and Pele. A lot of HP regen into the Medusa pick. The Lacerate can turn off a lot of that. So
Oh, that's
whoever
a
is
good
trying to
point.
rely on healing, yeah, like the Medusa's just gonna dash you, and then you're like, well, this isn't great. She's a widowy white behind me, isn't she?
Oh no,
Like,
she's
oh
widowy
no,
right there.
oh god.
I gotta turn
But
up my sensitivity to make a controller.
oh no. But you know what happens when Medusa tries to dash you? You shock ult, you use your Pele knockup, you Baron Samdi heal right on top of yourself because even if you can't get the heal too much, you got slow immunity. So I like the give and take here so far. And with Bellona and Hecate as well, that is a lot of space control between Hecate and Yamoja. The Reverse Rebuke open the gates, and Bellona and Medusa have a lot of chase potential and the ability, Bellona specifically, the ability to counter Pele because you can just disarm the Pele enhanced autos when she decides to dash in. So Pele ults you, Bellona disarms her and says,
Yeah,
"All right, now what? What's next, champ? What are you gonna do?" Like,
I find it fascinating how much, and you kind of mentioned this, and you hit on it perfect. Little CC or not CC, little HP, little health, little just kind of sustain. It feels like almost everybody has that for the Monkeys in some form. Even the Neath brings noticeable sustain to a team fight. And I feel like the amount that the Medusa can kind of mess with it, and then if you go more anti-heal, you grab enough items for it, you can really change the flow, the ebb and flow of a team fight if you are the Sigmas and really mess up that order side team to a point where they'll notice it in even just a simple skirmish of maybe a 3v5.
and the Sigmas also have the ability, ooh, with Susano too. Oh yeah,
Well, the
dude, they can
Sigmas gotta
just
go Sasano. That's basically their mascot.
yeah, like Susana, the Sigmas, the chase him downs. But
The
chasing down
chase them
is
down.
it is what they're gonna
Great team
do.
name.
Yeah, write that one up. Forget the Sigmas. No, keep the Sigmas. I'm already forgetting. But what Susano is able to bring here, what they're able to bring works really well with what Sigmas is already trying to do. cut people off with River's Rebuke or
Mhm.
open the gates and chase them down after the fact with Susano. You have Lacerate on Medusa, and Bellona can ult in. Neath and Izanami, you just bait their dashes and then just go after them and kill them. Baron Samedi cannot go anywhere, so you go after him and you kill him. Chalk, you ignore him. He's not going to die. Go do FG or something instead. And Pele, if she goes in on you, instead of having to chase after your meal, it's DoorDash delivery, baby. They just showed up there. Kill her. So I like the team comp from Sigma.
Same, but it's all doable. But it's all going to be done on the battleground. Let's go into game and see how everything will break down. Easy. Now, my eyes instantly will have to go towards that duo lane because boy, was it a tough going last time in the duo lane. And ooh, okay, so that's Coos Code in support on the Baron. And we got Mort. You talked about the Predator missiles, the AC-130s. That is Neath. That is Mort in the mid lane, answering Forgotten Power. So a complete change up on that side, a big mix up. And Coos Code, I feel like could be way more comfortable in support. I believe that is their main role. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, we had a chance to talk about it a bit before the game started, when the initial talk was like, who's going to mid? Is it going to be Mort? Is it going to be Coos Code? Umoja, though, is going to try to steal away that purple buff.
And got
successfully.
It too.
Yeah, Sunder, what a drug. Going to find even more with that yellow. So even though we split up the players from the Moggies, we can see that the Sigmas now have their Sigma their own. Calvish is such an aggressive support player. Going to scoop up the speed, too. And it means that solo, or the Medusa, is going to be able to find some solo farm as well. So it's not even all that bad for this duo lane. And Calvish swooping up from behind. There is some early kill potential.
I'm with you, especially with the Medusa as well, if Marshmallow can play around it well. And remember how aggressive we saw Marshmallow be, even from behind. Match that with the aggressive support style of Calvish, and that could be a very fun dual lane to watch. Now, the solo lane, Wabi Sabi versus Mogwarts, that was pretty even Stevens in game number 1, so I'm expecting it to be more of the same here in game number 2. But the character difference will be interesting to follow, for sure, with Mogwarts this time grabbing Drew and a Chalk. Wabi Sabi on the Bellona, that should be fun. And who will gank first where? Remember, there was almost a first blood in duo lane very early in the game, and then it transitioned to be more kind of a mid-diff and mid-fight.
Yeah, and I would expect that we put some pressure onto mid. Look, Dave Chappelle and MMR already crossing paths. They're going to wave to each other and be like, hey, friend, hey, neighbor, remember last game? Still a little upset. But I expect this duel lane to be very volatile, and I expect it to go in the way of the Sigmas because Medusa plays so well into Baron. Baron doesn't have a lot of the mobility that the other supports do. He's stuck, he's standing. So Viper Shot and a Lacerate could go really hard for this Medusa. They're going to choose Davey instead, not the target. I don't want you to hit him. Hit the Baron.
I'm with you as well. That shield, massive that time around. You've got NMR here. There's the speed, but the blink, good response. It's a small thing, and I feel like some people would say that that's a bit of an overreaction, but with how NMR likes to stick on a target, probably a good call from Marshmallow. Susano looks solo, but it's not quite there.
And I like that blink too, because you know what happens after they get knocked up? They immediately get hit by the Baron route, and then Izanami slaps him with the slow, and then it starts pounding him with autos. That was a good blink. That was a very, very good blink. They were dead there, almost assuredly, if they didn't blink. Coos Code, gonna get poked out again. Lacerate. That's what I said. There it is.
First blood for the Sigmas this time around. So the changes in duo helping out so far. Quiet across the rest of the map. Both jungles around mid. We'll see if anyone goes in. Looks like Forgotten Power might have gotten aggressive onto Mort. Now the blink, it was all a ruse. The damage on, but Mort lives and gets the backflip away. So while there was pressure, not quite a kill.
And that's all part of the Neath survivability. Mort picking up blink as well as having backflip available there. It's going to be hard to keep her down, especially if Mort remembers to play it safe and play the distance game. Neath has a lot of range for her abilities, and you know, the ultimate being the one with the largest amount of range. All Mort has to do is just stay alive and farm up. And when Dave Chappelle says, I want to go in and kill somebody, or not Dave Chappelle, but when NMR says, I want to go in and kill somebody, Mort just ults the person and says, okay, go in.
I feel like Chappelle says it a lot, but in real life.
Yeah, okay. Oh no, Coos Code. Well, Baron into Medusa. What do you say? Yeah. How fast can you run? Not fast enough. Like, okay, man, chill.
Oh, there's so many. I'm talking myself out of so many. All right, back on track, back on target.
And we're back, and we're here.
Yeah, coming up in a 4.5, and it's that 2-kill difference for the Sigmas that we have seen. It's important for the Sigmas. You gotta get off on a new foot. You have to leave all that baggage of game 1 in the past, and they're doing it so far. Moggies, though, they have some players who are still looking for that kind of comeback, that revitalization to show off more in these scouting games. So while the team names, of course, bring about the previous record, it's important to know the players are trying to still show off in different ways. Look at Mort. Look at him being handsome, aiming around, checking out what's there. What a guy.
Say, that the comm just then was
Oh, no.
Predator missile is prepared and inbound. Dave Chappelle says, where are you going? Ready to go. Oh, hit blocked by the minions.
Mort's like that.
No.
Mort's like that. That was all more
according to
calculated.
plan. The more calculations. That's
So-
crazy.
He, you know what it was? He knew those minions were there when he backflipped.
Oh, dude. He heard the, I don't know if you're familiar with Dead by Daylight, but when a killer is like close enough, there's like a song that plays. Mort heard the music and said, I know what to do. Like, he was ready.
Get this man on a team. Again, scouting games for the TKL season. One of the first Smite 2 amateur leagues that I've seen pop up. So just as an aside, that's super cool. Hope to see it do really well. With players like this, hard to believe it won't do well. There's a knock-up, damage on. Predator missile out. Will it help Mogwart stay alive? Matter of fact, it will, because the juke times up with the stun onto Wabi Sabi, and the chalk is A-OK. Gold Fury. We pulled on the left-hand side as an answer by the Moggies. They got 4 here. Calvish gonna cut it close. Rebuke out. Gold Fury will go to the Moggies. A good attempt by the Sigmas. Can they find a pick? They'll find one at least in Cusco. Davey barely gets away, and the Sigmas, they're on the hunt.
Even as they give chase, oh, Chappelle's here. That's the one character that might be able to cross that barrier, but he gives it up pretty quickly as Marshmallow. Okay, Marshmallow is going to take a lot of poke there. Oh, Mort's going in.
Ambitious. The jet stream missed again. Oh no, it did connect. It was showing on the wall, but it did hit Mort. But he's okay. Mort's calculated again. You can't bring that man down.
The Mort calculations. But guess who's back with full health? NMR hit the back, took the teleporter. If Sigmas aren't careful here, they're going to find that they're going to lose more than the Gold Fury.
Gets the knock up and doesn't get the kill. Marsh once again using that blink to perfection. Marsh is making the case for blink being an escape tool so far.
And Marsh, last game too, we saw them on that Cupid do fairly well, especially because the adversity was so high for them in that lane. They were able to score that solo kill against Davey, who... Davey's a good player. We know Davey's a good player. They were popping off that game too. So to see Rough Marshmallow perform even better this game gives me a lot of hope for the competition that we're going to get to see in this league. Just because you lost last game, it doesn't mean that you are by any means a weaker player or anything like that. You just weren't able to hit your stride. Obviously, you cannot give Medusa to Rough Marshmallow. They're already 3-0 with this character. Baragi's Harp is online, some Bimbo too. This means that Medusa, specifically, with these items, she's going to be able to start soloing things like Naga. And if she can solo that Naga, that's easily a gold tree that she can follow that up with. Viper Shot, because of the way that Sunbeam Bow and Baragi's Harp works, you just choo, those 4 shots. Anything that she lacerates dies. Yeah, that's the sound it makes. It's real.
I love when my Gatling guns sound like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, it's a Wabi Sabi forced to ult away here. And Moggies are giving chase, but I don't think they have too much potential here. Likely they just back off. But the Naga's right there, so maybe they could find something else.
I was going to say, at least there's nothing up on the left-hand side of the map that you're missing this time, which was a mistake that we saw. Again, not all the members, most of the members of the Moggies make in game number 1. They do pull the Naga, and the Bellona walks over, it's jumping off a building, so she won't do that. And the Queen Naga will go to the Moggies. And since Mort's on the team, that's a Nagla in pocket.
There you go. But Sigmas, the response here, they try to find Davey, who's forced to dash away. He's an Ami ult.
This is a tough fight for Davey. I don't think he's getting out of this one. The stun confirms it. And the shot to the head there from
Who are you working
Forgotten
for?
Power. Yeah, that was kind of brutal.
Say, I like the player positioning here, that as the Sigmas are trying to find something in the left lane, while he's looking in the right lane to open the gates, finds
man.
Mort.
Mort's just getting thrown around like a dodgeball. But now it's flat. Dave Chappelle gets the kill.
Say, Be sure to read that in the newspapers coming up here. Wabi Sabi gets ulted by Kuzcode. Couple of tanks just tanking around. Maybe they'll be able to put some pressure onto that tower. But while this is happening, you know, NMR finding something in the left lane too. Immediately forced out.
Oh,
no, not even forced
got brought
out.
back by
Forced
the
in.
Riptide. Caught by the Lacerate. Oh, but through the corner of the Rivers Rebuke. I thought we were going to see Calvish drop an LA on type of Rivers Rebuke right there on the corner of the wall. Get that pixel perfect shot on it. Predator missile. Target acquired. Hostile eliminated. Davey with the credit. Morton Man with the assist.
And as this game is going on, initially we were talking about like, you know, NMR and Dave Chappelle, all these people that we're watching. I haven't seen too much from NMR this game. Like, they're 0-0-0. They haven't been a part of anything. Yeah, we've been making rotations, so like, what's been going on? So I have to sit here and wonder, when does that change? What is NMR's power spike? What happens to enable this Pele to really start going on people and finding results? Dave Chappelle looking for results right now. Mort, half health.
Mort dead. That's a statue too. That'll go down. Give Medusa the buff. She might need it to stay alive. Will not stay alive. Davey with the shutdown. Dave Chappelle will use a Typhoon to try to help out Calvish, who doesn't quite have enough for the Riptide, but won't need it. Gets away anyway. Could have been bigger of a pickup for the Moggies. They do have a chance for Gold Fury, but you'll notice I say a chance. This is not free. Forgotten Power's full health and lurking. The Moggies know it. Gold Fury started up. Akate is looking for an opening. Gonna have the Sasano and the Bologna nearby too. The portal out. Forgotten Power with the steal on Gold Fury for the Sigmas. It pulls up and works perfect.
Crazy use of Blink to avoid shock ult. Avoiding silence lets them open the gates up. Morton got the Predator missile online.
Who's he looking at?
I say, he's like, I got this, I got this. Oh, they're gone. But Sigma's finding another win there. The Sigma's finding another win there against the Moggies. These team names are gonna be the end of me, Anthony. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like struggling back here.
You know, maybe D-Lo is cooking by naming everybody the zebra cakes. Oh, this is a big missile. We'll get the kill.
Yeah.
Here you go, folks. The Morton Man's on the board.
Confirmed target down. It's gonna who's Davey gets to get that tier 1 tower.
Boys.
President's gonna be real proud of us after this. Shout out Mort. He doesn't miss those ults. You gotta give him that. Oh my gosh, Umoja. I don't know if they wanted this fight.
Decent Aegis though, catches it. Mez down. Later, Davey. Calvish is him.
Calvish, what are you doing out here, man? It's just a scouting game. You don't have to reveal your true strength like that.
Won't see Umoja for the entirety of the season.
Yeah, say once we get more bans, NMR, hey, that kill I wanted them to have. They are finally on the board. All it took was losing that Gold Fury to really infuriate him to such a degree of like, no more kid games. We fight to win now.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take it serious from here on out, guys.
Yeah, I'm pretty much locked in at this point. No more owls in the
I'm gonna
chat.
turn off my wallpaper engine for extra frames.
That's a deep cut. I like that. That's good.
That's a deep gamer cut, yeah.
You say shout outs to wallpaper. I don't know. We're moving on.
Yeah.
So, and Pele.
The jiggle physics take at least 10 frames.
Yeah, I was about to say. But they've got Hydras online now. So that's
Davey
gonna be big.
dead?
David? Yeah, I think they're just dead.
Did you
All
call
right.
him David? Did you full name my man as he got soloed?
It was a serious situation. You gotta put some gravitas.
Sounded
on
like his
it.
parent. David, go to your room.
They're gonna go to the fountain is where they're headed.
Go to your room and turn off the lights. I only want you seeing in black and white.
You can't really beat Medusa in a 1v1, even if you're Izanabi, because a Viper Shot and Acid Spray, you just lose. Viper Shot puts on so much damage, and even though Izanabi's able to say, I can give myself an attack speed skin,
Right.
Viper Shot gives you the 4 shots that you need to just kind of end it, right? Like, you just kill them, especially with Sunbeebo. I'm going to keep talking about Sunbeebo.
No, I'm down because I'm down to talk about Medusa because I haven't seen her yet. This is fun for me. Medusa, Pele, getting to see them both in action. It's been fun. No fun for Mort. It looks like Dave Chappelle wanted the chase. Will blink away after the rebuke is out. to get the Baron in. Now life of the party. NMR maybe can pick this up on a turnaround. Not needed. Mort gets the credit. The Typhoon finds a home. No follow-up. Whoa, is that a dash hit aggressive from the Izanami? And it works out? Okay, Moggies. They're not done quite yet. Bringing it within 1K gold and making it 6 to 8 and maybe more. Tin Man's in trouble. The backflip. He's okay.
Mort. Oh, Predator Missile not quite charged up there. Pyromancer looked at by the Sigmas. They were able to force some ults out of Moggies. Or Moggies looking in. Sorry.
Can he get it? Oh, the blink away from Mort. They let it go. Now Mort's in trouble. He'll get away fine. There was also trouble for that Mogwart's barely alive. But the biggest thing is Wabi Sabi used that ultimate to stop the Pyromancer, and there was nothing the Moggies could do, and now they lose Cusco too. But NMR, still willing to fight, has plenty of health online as well, gets one, and almost a second will follow. Not quite.
Not there yet, but it does mean that Moggies can't look at this Pyromancer anymore. So at least Sigmas was able to do that much. Trading Rough Marshmallow for that, though, not great. Because I look at Rough Marshmallow and I'm like, that's the guy I need super farmed. I need this Medusa up and running. We need more items online, please. Because this is the character that could just kill people.
I'd love to see a couple levels, too.
Yeah, like, puts as much of a lead as you can, because I know you haven't had a chance to see too much Medusa. Let me tell you what she does. She just kills you. You just die. It is that easy. It is that simple. And the ult is such an important tool, and it gets so much damage off here in Smite too. The towers are such a nice thing. Oh no, more. You can't get hit by those.
There's the gate to bring him back to get slammed down by Forgotten Power. Oh, forget it. That's for certain. The Rebuke catches the Baron. Will force an ultimate, brings back the one, but he's still in a lot of trouble. There's a knockup of a friend behind. NMR is here, but there's just not enough damage coming out from the Pele to make a meaningful difference. The Baron will be all right for the moment. The NMR could not force the fight any further.
Calvish doing a great job eating that Baron ult, too. It makes sure that nobody else gets sucked into the tower there, keeps the fight in favor of the Sigmas. Calvish has just been on it this game. A Naga, soloed by Davey, because that's what you can do with Sunbeam. I need you to talk to somebody in the office, by the way, to get that item nerfed into the ground. Maybe not nerfed into the ground, but like revert one of the changes. Calvish taking a bullet for the president. That's nuts.
I'll do the Lermy and say it's on our whiteboard. We're looking.
Yeah.
I'll pull the Lermy for that one.
There you go.
Just gotta shout out the goat, right, Musi? Or 1v1 and goat. Yeah.
1v1 and goat. Twitch.tv/Lermy.
It's not even correct, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm a fake fan.
You choked at the finish line. All right. 7 to 10, 17 minutes, and we got a Gold Fury pull. And it's gonna be tough for the Moggies to do much of anything, so they're gonna grab the Pyromancer on the right side. Davey will be the only chance. Matter of fact, Davey's getting here with plenty of time. Oh, but that ultimate, much too short. So NMR will get it. Or excuse me, Calvish will get the gold. NMR will get the Pyromancer.
And the real thing to start looking at here, too, is going to be that Fire Giant. Like, I am trying to think of, like, who wins around this Fire Giant pit? When we start thinking about that 5v5, we're on the way. We are the Predator Missile. Oh, who's a big, strong man. Oh, so big. But the...
Stretch your arms, Mr. Fire, and show me who's the big boy!
Big stretch. Oh, he's sleepy. But I imagine Calvish...
Need his bedtime milky?
Oh, we're shutting that down. All right. So Calvish is going to be able to split up this fight really easy with that River's Rebuke. And when you also have Akate being able to... Oh, my God. Marshmallow taking some poke here. Oh, the Predator Missile! Run!
I almost said bang, but he didn't quite get the kill. Oh, come on.
I'm lightheaded.
Yeah, the Fire Giant Milky's got you lightheaded.
I was trying to power on, but then these characters, it's crazy. We love it here.
Oh, man.
All right, Baron ult. It misses.
You sound like, see? This is how Athena ult, she's dead happened. Speaking of which, Baron ult, say it, Musi.
He's dead.
Yep, he's dead.
He's dead. It's a dead god.
Dead god.
Dead god for real.
Confirmed.
And honestly,
Yeah,
Just what
go
you
ahead.
kinda
Where do we go
expect.
from here?
Whoa, no. Come on, I can bridge this. Check this out. Trained professional here.
Peep this pivot, dog.
A lot of that has to do with the fact that this Baron has no mobility, and because they use their ultimate there, they just get scooped up by the open the gates. You'll notice they have their talisman, but it was just off cooldown, so gotta try to think and wonder, like, when do we need to use it for the team? Maybe I gotta keep that for myself, because you can't just rip those ultimates at the tower line and not find something here.
Mogwarts, looked for it deep, won't find it. Matter of fact, commits ult 2. But look at the damage being thrown onto the Sigmas.
Oh my god, they're out.
No picks. Nobody dies from that? Really?
What the Sigma?
All right. I knew you were gonna drop it, but like, it didn't make it feel any better.
I did like.
Got him!
Oh!
Got him, Mort! Let's go!
Missile confirmed. Oh, that's a Phoenix. Marshmallow?
That's a big Phoenix and a good call from Marshmallow. The answer is the Pele will go down. One Archer minion versus the Pele.
She's
The
so
Volcanic
fast.
Lightning, the dash. The ult. You gotta kill the Phoenix too, though. Oh, no.
96 health.
That hurts.
Just barely off the mark. and
Meanwhile,
now
Fire
Moggy's-
Giant. Davey pulled in. Can they find it? This could be a steal, though. There's an angle here for Calvish to get it. Dave Chappelle helping out Dave on Dave violence. The Fire Giant still standing, down to 1,000 health. One more big damage will go. Mogwarts keeps it safe for the Moggies. They'll get one positive out of this so far. It's the fire. The fight not looking great, but Mogwarts makes it happen again. A 3-man storm call. If Mort can find some damage, and maybe they do, maybe Dave's dead. Will he get away? Yes, he will. But it was close, and Fire Giant goes to the Moggies as they continue to walk backwards towards base.
Mogwarts has no mana, but they have all the aggression in the world. They just want to keep looking for something. Look, I mean, you have Baron. You can heal if they keep going in. You might as well try for something. What a crazy confirm from Mogwarts there. That's the power. Was that Sunder that stole it there? If I'm not mistaken. Sunk that cooldown.
I guess secured it too, technically.
Secured it. Yeah, okay, they started up. My fault, gang. Even without my fault.
This is
Even
becoming a
without
crazy
NMR there.
game.
Yeah, I was about to say this is crazy even. Last game was such a stop, right? For lack of a better word. Sorry,
Sure.
gamers, but this is it's back and forth. Sigmas and Moggies are going crazy because Sigmas had the tempo for this game, for that fight, and Moggy's coming out on top with that FG, and you know that they were feeling positive, they were feeling confident because they sent Marshmallow to go take that Phoenix, but it cost them that FG. What more are the Sigmas gonna lose? It's gonna be this Gold Fury. Moggy started up, it's already down to half.
And might be close to free. You've got Sigma's near, but now the Medusa's here. They got let go for a moment, but that moment was a good one. Double kill for NMR, picking up where he left off on that Loki and finding one there. 420 damage, and now who's getting blazed might be Mort. No, still standing, turns it around. Forgotten Power will be the next one dead. Taku's Code. A big pickup and 3 dead positive for the Moggies.
NMR, we asked, he gave. Wondering where the damage was, where that slash lane was from that last game. Gonna find even more. Picks up Dave Chappelle. Not that funny after all. Even the joke. The death is a joke. We fumbled it. Oh, sorry.
He got canceled. That's how
He
he's
got
dead.
canceled. There we go. That's why
Career.
you're the
Yeah, his career's
professional
dead.
and I'm the...
Yeah, unless he's a 47-year-old conservative uncle at Christmas, that's the only person who Dave Chappelle's recognized by. As the Moggies bring down Wabi Sabi, and they step into the Phoenix to bring that down too. But Calvish, there's one support who could verse the world and possibly come out on top. It might be Calvish.
They've got the Glad Shield. The damage potential is there, right? Surely, but Moggies will take their victory and walk away. Man, really, that aggression that the Sigmas was giving us there, the confidence, biting him in the biting him in the butt now.
And the Heine.
Right in the hindsight.
The
And it's
attitude
2020.
of the Sigmas that got bit. You're correct, Musi, when you say that.
Yeah. Yeah. But as we start to reach these late game gods and late game builds, you really have to start asking yourself, like, who comes out on top the longer this game goes? And I like the
Right.
Moggies comp because you have Pele, you have Chalk, who lives forever. Sigma's gonna find this Pyromancer as a response. And Mort on Neath, if he can get a couple more items, he can really start blowing people up. The problem is Moggies is contending with Rough Marshmallow on this Medusa, who, and I'm not kidding, has the potential to 1v5 Moggies if they position correctly and if they choose their targets correctly. The damage potential that this Medusa has is off the charts. Moggies need to shut that down and then try to see what else they can find after the fact.
Big time ult brings back 2. The Moggies trying to tank through damage, but they've already lost their ADC. The Lona's TKO'd. The Cusco's looking for an opening, but now with 2 dead, the Moggies gotta go for a retreat. But the Hexstone to get closer, and the Sigmas want to fight, but it's not to be had quite yet.
Some damage missing from the Moggies there. NMR gonna go off on their own journey. Sigmas can absolutely just kind of walk it down mid. Tier 2 more than likely falls here unless Morton Cusco can really pull something nasty. Oh, I wonder if they go for the left side. That Phoenix.
It's not half, but it's not completely healthy. In the Sigmas go. It's 2,000 health. Gonna take them some time for sure. Double root onto the Sigma. Chappelle dashes in, gets aggressive, brings down Mort. The Phoenix will follow, so it works out pretty darn well for the Sigmas.
NMR was off doing that right side tier 1 tower during that whole engagement, cost them that left side Phoenix. So you gotta wonder, is NMR enough to stop that push? Probably not. Sigmas, you do what you can in these situations. You stem the bleeding. At least the goal difference doesn't get too crazy. But
it's been pretty
because the
close for a
Sigmas
lot
are
of this
back-
game too, to your credit.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it's going back and forth. FG's back up though. Moggy started up because Sigmas had to back. Sigmas have no idea about this. Wabi Sabi's gonna open the door and be like, wait, hold on, what are you doing?
Yeah, the Lona's gonna be the first to know, already down to half health. The Moggies, though, look like they want to let it go. They'll take their time looking for the next opportunity. So we got a while, potentially, until that fire. Would you have liked them to kept on? Maybe brought it down low and kind of dared the Sigmas, or was NMR too far away?
With NMR being like all the way back in those back camps, probably couldn't have stuck to it too much. I probably would have made the call to stick to it though, because I'm a Sigma. I'm a real Sigma, not like these guys. But,
yeah, I believe that you're a real Sigma.
You're a real something. I don't know.
Yeah, you're a real something. That's true. Wabi Sabi low. Mort's charging, but not gonna fire. There's the engage from Hogwarts. We might regret it. Turned on by the Medusa, but not dead. The Riptide is perfect, but the Phantom Shell will help keep him safe. With the Talisman and the Moggy's all right, but who's that lost in no man's land? It is NMR, who needs something, needs a miracle, but ain't nobody answering you from the grave, and NMR goes down.
Wabi Sabi, the ult of a lifetime, locked that Pele down because you know for a fact she was just going to be able to run away. Cusco does not have the ability to sprint. I mean, it's going to take a bit, but that man's dead.
We'll see how long. Bang, got him. Not long, honestly, not bad.
Yeah, I'd say that could have gone longer, but they put him out of his misery. Gingerbread man. It's no longer Christmas time. The holiday season is over. We only got New Year's, and we don't need gingerbread at New Year's. That's not really what we go for.
Yeah.
FG for Sigmas, Gold Fury for the Moggies. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right, honestly. We could have tried to contest that FG.
I would love it more. I was gonna say, I'd love it more if you had some kind of contest. Plus, you've got 2 tier 2 towers still up if you're the Moggies, so that really only affects the Phoenix in the left lane. So if you do get a fight, or if you go for a sneaky siege, it's not as helpful as it could be. I don't know. It feels like there's been a series of a few tiny missteps for the Moggies, but their missteps, the Sigmas just know how to capitalize on them.
And a lot of that is just Calvish. Anytime anybody tries to step out of line or try to make an engage, Calvin just pops the River's Rebuke and says, all right, well, it's our tempo now. This is our fight now. We are going to dictate the pace of how this goes. And if NMR tries to go around in the back there, Dave Chappelle or Wabi Sabi are very willing to just turn around and be like, no, you're dead. Pyromancer picked up by the Sigmas as well. Little just desserts. And you said it, and I'm still thinking about it. Moggy's picking up that Gold Fury. I think another reason why I don't think it's great is because they're not going to use it like at all. They have to worry about the Sigma's Fire Giant push. Maybe
where they could have gone for a contest and maybe done what Wabi Sabi did, scare them off.
Scare them off or steal it. You have Izanami. You have Neath, like, you got some damage online here. You might even be able to find some picks if you can't steal it, if Sigmas have to commit too much because they don't have the sustain that you have. I think a fight there would have been pretty good, but if they can hold the line, then I gotta eat my words because they're the gamers, so they know what's going on.
More backflips. That was cool. Tier 2 being sieged by the Sigmas. You can see it's an Almi in dual lane. She's backing just now in time to get with the defense for the Phoenix. Should the Sigmas push there? Looks like they might in the mid lane. Left side is still low for the Chaos team as well. So they've got a lot of entryways into this base of the Moggies.
They do. They still got to worry about that tower, though. If they want to try to go after that Titan. They have a lot of damage online, but...
NMR found a pick. Will it matter?
Air missile?
Oh, didn't find a home. Life of the party's out as well. Cuscode caught and stuck in the waves. The Phantom Shell might help, but it's not going to buy that much time, nor enough time. And Chappelle's got one. You have Mogwarts in, and he ults everybody. But if nobody's around, and it don't mean a damn, no picks for the Sigmas. They're all standing strong, ready to fight forward, almost find another one. Matter of fact, Chappelle might just find an Amar, catches the Aegis, makes it happen and brings him down. Now to get away. Oh, not quite. Not quite.
At least they got it.
Yeah.
Little return kill action. Fade away. And you know, oh, dude, what sucks about Moggies there is that they win in one after the other. Here goes
NMR with the flank. Will it matter? No, cannot find one. Oh, to have a flank like that and not find a pick hurts. It does slow down the Phoenix siege, but it doesn't stop it completely. Mort can't step up. And Amar looking to go in again. Will he have backup this time? Gets the damage on, but the blink away. Helps Forgotten Power stay alive, but the Phoenix in the mid lane did make it through.
Forcing off the Hunter, or the ADC rather, and then going after the next squishiest target there. I like NMR's mentality, the target acquisition. We gotta pick who's gonna be the most important. Oh, Mort gets picked up and he's dead.
Yeah, that's why casters talk from the booth. NMR, Volcanic Lightning out, but not gonna find a hit on that target. Mogwarts is here, but without Volcanic Lightning finding a home, it's problematic for NMR to continue. I think he realizes it's the same thing, and the Monkeys get away.
Yep. I mean, again, at least Monkeys are holding, and I like the mindset of like, well, if anybody tries to step up to our zone, we can try to go in, go after them. NMR, that ult catching on the little island there, that was tragic. Did not quite wrap around, because if that connected, that fight would have gone a little bit
totally different fight.
Yeah, I was about to say that was something that could lead to a Gold Fury potentially for the other side, but it is going to be the Sigmas that pick it up. Ancient Gold Fury. That tier 2 tower on the right side, gonna body it for the Phoenix. Hold it in line, but Sigmas now have an even better push. They do lose their FG though. Yeah, you know, I read a thesaurus before the game. I cooked up on some words for you.
Cheating.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like taking a PED as a caster. All right, anyway, Mogwarts into the back line. Stormcall knocks up 2.
Bye,
Can't
Phoenix.
make much of it, and the Phoenix goes down, as my smart co-caster mentions. But now what do you do?
Me.
The Moggies, they lose their Phoenix. They barely saved the mid Phoenix. It feels like they're just in this constant state of defend some more. How do you break back out of your base? How do you start to play the video game?
So the reason why they've been losing a lot of these fights is because they've been going in one after the other, or more accurately, Forgotten Power opens the gates, finds Cuscode, and then Cuscode gets picked. That's how these fights start off. And then Mogwarts tries to go in after the fact, and then they die. Oh my god, FG? You just get to have this? Do they know? Okay, cool. All right. That's how you win, baby. We're gonna start just doing objectives. Uh-oh. Sigmas know though. More importantly, Calvish knows. That's the one to keep an eye out. Cuscode. History repeats itself potentially.
The Sigmas got caught sleeping, and they might lose their support, and they do! The Moggies looking to take the game. NMR goes in with Volcanic Lightning, gets caught by the stun, cannot find the kill. The Storm Call blink through from Mogwarts makes it work, but they lose their jungle. Can they turn it around, make it work? One auto from Mort, the backflip into the auto, bring him down, stay alive! He does! Davey saves the day and takes out Wabi, Sabi, and the Moggies. Get fire, drop 3, lose their jungle, now they push up in the mid lane.
That's ridiculous. The same thing that the Moggies have been suffering from this whole game, the Sigmas just fell victim to it. Your support gets picked off, and then after that, you start losing your players because you're now fighting at a disadvantage. Sigmas suffering the sins of Moggies, going in one after another, and Moggies just want to clean house here. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to go for an end game. You have 2 tier 2 towers remaining. Is that enough to dissuade you?
Here they go. It's going to be 10 until Calvish. Forgotten Power's got to be on it. Same thing for Dave Chappelle. Their first defense goes okay. Chappelle back to the fountain. Titan down to half health. They go in. The mezzes are off. The damage is on, but they might lose. This is Sano, and they lose the game. The Moggies make it work. Make the great calls at Fire and make the comeback arc work.
What a criminal fire giant. That was nuts. It's just like, you guys want to do fire, I guess? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that'd be
Oh, Calvis
dope.
here. Let's kill. Yeah. I love Fire Giant. My name's Mort, and I'm super handsome and smart. Let's do Fire Giant. And then they do it. And they find Calvish after the fact. It crumbles from there. The bigger you are, the harder you fall, man. You need to remember that if you're gonna be ahead, you gotta make sure that we're playing ahead.
Yeah, the bigger they are, the harder you fall. But that was a damn earthquake for the Sigmas. Like, it's crazy.
And you really just got a shot. I want to know who made that FG call. Whoever made that FG call,
I'm with you.
I want on my team, because that was game changing.
We
That was
talked
crazy.
about how much IGLs mean in these scouting games. Somebody who just knows what's happening. And while it's kind of easy to guess, maybe it's NMR, as we've talked about, a lot of experience there. Again, same thing for Cuscode. Worth mentioning is a ton of experience. Just seeing it actually kind of come together and work out, that's what's so impressive.
It really is. Well, and especially because it's like, I can't overstate it enough. That one call won them the game, but also the calls that Moggies were making throughout the game. There was like one that I really disagreed with, but the rest of them were pretty solid. We're seeing a lot of Sigma on one side of the map. Let's go ahead and throw our weight around on the other side of the map. They did a good job of picking and choosing their battles to try to limit how much they would lose from it. Once they rectified the situation of why are we just going in one after another and dying, they did pretty well. They were able to hold off the Sigmas at their Phoenix, just Mort and NMR. That's all it took. So you definitely got some players on there to keep an eye out for. Sigmas, though, gotta highlight the fact that they walked it the whole game. It was only at the very end that they lost it. And honestly, they lost it because they were just not ready for that FG call. If they were ready for that FG call, Sigmas took that game.
Yeah, that ending really did shock me. So you're a captain, Musia, right? Put on the captain hat. You can pretend it's like a sailor one if that suits you.
Okay, I mean, I would have picked like a.
Give me
cool.
your top 2 draft picks from each team.
Okay, well, obviously, I'm looking at NMR, right? I gotta look at NMR. Crazy, and I'm looking at Calvish. I am staring at Calvish right now. I know that like slash lines are dictating, like, yeah, Dave Chappelle had a comedy special, did pretty good on kills. I like that, right? That's a good resume. Calvish was a menace this game. Calvish was a menace last game. The only mistake they made is that they died that last fight. It was crazy. I want Calvish on my team. And I want NMR too, because, you know, they're crazy. But that's like not as cool. That's jungler stuff, right? Supports, that's where it's at.
Well, a lot to break down. First of all, there's a chance at an interview potentially. That'd be cool.
Oh,
You get to know who made the call. But
okay.
Looking in chat, it looks like there's some debate. I opened up chat for the end of this game, Musi. I know it's off brand, but I was curious if there would be reveals of who made the call. And it looks like it's a back and forth. Mort's in chat, so he might claim it. Real thinks it was Davey.
Any flavors?
I feel good about the NMR or Cusco angle, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Mort. Speaking of Mort, looks like we are ready, and I feel like I'm back in Georgia all of a sudden with a post game interview. So Mort, you guys took the game. You made the ambitious call at the end there, but tell me off the bat, who made the Fire Giant call? And be honest, I have a gun.
The world may never know. The world may never
Shoot him.
know.
You just hear the click.
Yeah, I mean, some things are meant to be left in mystery. You know what I mean? I mean, it's one of those like Indiana Jones mysteries. Like you think you've solved the riddle, but You didn't actually, and that's exactly what I'm going to leave this up to. No, I'm just kidding. It was Davey. Davey 100% made that call. Davey was
Really?
our shot caller from the get-go. This dude was
Really?
yapping all game and running us through the entire process. Everything that we did was on Davey's command. I was a sheep and he was a shepherd.
That's really interesting.
Leading
Usually,
the
you don't
flock.
see that from ADCs out of the duo lane. Usually, they're more of they use VGS, they make light calls, and it's pretty rare they're the full shot caller. In team fights, did that get messy at all, or did it feel clean?
It felt very clean. I'm not gonna lie. It felt very clean. There was a couple times where, Baron came in, Cusco, and he definitely said a couple things, made a couple arguments here and there, Fury, this and that. But overall it felt we coagulated well. We came together and we made a very good team. So I think that the
The fact
calls
that
were
you
very
and
nice.
Musi sit in the booth with the Thors out is just crazy.
We
Speaking of
share.
Musi, though, Musi, questions from you, please take the reins. Go ahead.
Oh, sure. So, Mort, you had a chance to play with and against NMR specifically, one of the players that I felt really showed up this game. How did it feel to have that kind of power on your team? Is that something that gives you confidence as a team member of a jungler that is able to perform so well?
2 syllables, 1 word, back
Mhm.
shots. This guy's a champion. I mean, this guy's one of the greatest to ever do it.
Excuse me.
I love this guy. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this guy talks. He's not a shot caller, but he's good. He's good at communicating what he's gonna do. He's like, I'm ganking right now. These abilities are down. This and that. I mean, everything that you would want from a jungler, this guy's got it 100%. Now, I do want to mention that also the jungler on the other side, Azuli, also known as Dave Chappelle, that was his account for the game. He's a bit of a dog himself. I mean, I've seen him in other leagues, AGL and a couple others, absolutely perform. And playing with him in game 1, I mean, he was really our only hope in response to winning game 1. But in game 2, I felt like I had a target on my back. I mean, this Susano was doing everything that you would want. He's waiting out abilities. He's waiting out my backflip and then teleporting in. He's doing everything that you need from a Susano to win these fights. But there's only so much you can do. You can only put the team on your back before so much. There's only so much weight you can take before you collapse to your knees and those damn minions.
Yeah,
Ask about the minions.
you did kind of cosplay as Chappelle's kitten in game 2 for sure. About the minions though, Tess brings up at one point we saw you step up kind of far in lane. It looked like your spidey senses tingled. Susano came around the corner and you backflipped and you positioned in a way to where the jet stream that Dave threw hit the minions so he couldn't chase you. Intentional or not?
Not gonna lie, I can't recall this. I mean, that's definitely not a
He was
scene
too
that I
in the
can.
zone.
You know what?
Yeah,
Sometimes you
Musi
just
gave you
lock
a lot
in
of
and
ups during that part of the game.
It's cool, man. If you don't remember, it's fine. I just thought, it's whatever. Go ahead.
I had more than I had very big plans to go back and watch the VOD back. So maybe I'll check that out, and we'll see if these big things were intentional or not. I'd have to look at it to really
Yeah.
remember. But I mean,
Big things.
2 very long and very hectic games like we just played. It's hard to recall every single event that happened. You know what I mean? And I mean, if it was big ups, I'm glad for you recognizing that. I'll take all of the glaze that I can get. So if you've got some glaze for me, I mean, give it to me right now.
Oh, I'm
That was
done.
about it. Yeah, that was it.
Sick.
Anyway, well, that's gonna do it from Mort for our post game interview. That 10 players in total in that game, though, not just Mort. And of those 10 players, plenty of players who can do big things for your team throughout this season. So as you're scouting through as a potential grabber, as a captain, make sure you make it worth. I mean, NMR, he's always an argument for 1 or 2 in a draft, but Dave Chappelle made a pretty strong case on the Susano. I'd love to see him on some other picks. Musi, final thoughts from you.
Final thoughts. I just gotta say, thank you all players showing up to these scouting games. I hope everybody had a good time playing. I know I certainly had a good time watching. And just remember that as much as we talk about the players that are already up there in terms of level, one of the big things that these amateur leagues are able to do is help us grow players as well. Just because somebody didn't perform as well as maybe they would have liked, or anybody scouting as much as they would have liked, remember that there's a lot of growth potential in these players. There's a lot that can change with practice. If you find even a couple moments, a couple diamonds in the rough, if you will, from
Rough.
the players tonight, rough down to the. Anyways, sorry, it's a full moon out, so just took over. But the point being is that don't count anybody out. I want to see NMR go crazy. I also want to see NMR lose to some of the new names that show up there. Shout out to NMR. I'm sorry, man. I'm just throwing it. Call it like it is.
All right. I respect the end from you. I respect the final points. Of course, again, thank you to Mord. Thanks to Tess for running production. I think
Thanks.
that's it. Right, gamers? Am I good? Oh,
Yeah, you
production,
can
my
go.
ear. I'm good. Look at that. Thanks to Amateras's presence for allowing my old self to join the call. And I can't wait to watch more TKL once the season gets started and the scouting games are complete. So check out everything that gets done here. Make sure you're in the Discord and following the Twitch and all that good stuff. Until then, have a safe new year. We'll see you next year and have a wonderful night.
Bye.